All right, all right. Hey, friends, David Fisher here from the David Fisher Show, where our mission is to get a little bit better today than yesterday. Trying to help others improve their life, create that better version of themselves, myself included. So, what we have today is our podcast about, well, I was thinking about this even just for the intro here. So a friend of mine who has a podcast, Jake Blanchard, shout out to Jake Blanchard. The intro that he used to do, maybe he still does. I haven't listened to the podcast in a while, but he always started off with all right. And I don't know, for whatever reason, that kind of caught my attention. And I started today's podcast with that, just as a homage, I guess, to my friend, Mr. Blanchard. It made me start to think about something called Imposter Syndrome. And I've had this conversation a few times with some men over the past year or so, and trying to move through that imposter syndrome. I certainly have experienced it myself, even this entire podcast. Who am I to try to help others, or, what do I have to say that, I'm no better than anyone else. I'm just a man trying to find my own way through life as well. And I had to really kind of think about that, and I've thought about it over some time here. And what do we do when we are emulating other people? Is that wrong? Is there something negative about that? Certainly myself, I was thinking, well, if there's somebody out there that I'm trying to emulate, or that maybe is doing something that I would like to get better at, why not, emulate them? Why not try to, incorporate some of the way that they do things into the way that I want to do things? I'm coming back from an experience with the Fit Body Boot Camp. As many of you know, I am a Fit Body Boot Camp owner here in Amherst, New Hampshire, and we had a elite training down in Providence, Rhode Island. One of my takeaways from that was we spent the day yesterday working with each other as coaches to how do we get better. And you know what? One of the messages was, well, look what this coach is doing. Here's a great example of, maybe incorporating some of their practices into your practices in an effort to become a better coach. It's something that I think, for myself anyway, it becomes a lot of like negative self-talk. Well, that's, not who I am, or, I'm copying somebody else, or, not being true to myself. And it often makes me think of one of my favorite quotes is from William Shakespeare. Actually, I have it right over here on my desk, that there is nothing good or bad, thinking makes it so, right? The fact that I want to, start off a podcast with all right. It just, I don't know, it just sounds cool to me. So, but it's not mine. I got that from somebody else. Some of the coaching that I do, some of you guys that are members here at the Fit Body Boot Camp are familiar with Coach CJ. He is a Fit Body owner, amazing human being. He's out in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. But part of my journey into this franchise was being a member of his boot camp, and I got to experience his coaching style. So that was something that I didn't know how to do. Like, I had not gotten the reps in, the sets, repetition being the mother of all skill. Having that time with Coach CJ and saying, wow, that is something that I would like to emulate, something that I want to try to aspire to be like his coaching style. A lot of my coaching style is reflected. And I think that that's a good thing. And I think that a lot of us suffer with that. Well, who am I? What am I doing? Am I really able to find myself? And I think that I just want to say that, and give myself permission to say that, yeah, it's okay that Maybe I borrow or I use, other quotes from other people. I mean, we all know who William Shakespeare is. I didn't, create the thought process of nothing is good or bad. Thinking makes it so. And maybe he didn't either. Maybe he got that from somebody else. I don't know if that's an original thought or not, but it really doesn't matter. It's just how do I become better, right? That's the whole purpose of this podcast. That's really where I'm trying to go in my own mission in life, is becoming a little bit better today than yesterday. And in doing so, that sometimes I'm going to take best practices from other people and say, wow, that is something that I want to emulate. I think about it in lots of different contexts, not just in coaching, not just in thinking, but really in life in general. It's saying, like, the golden rule, do unto others as you'd have others do unto you. Like, trying to be a better person is a great way to make a better world. So that was really kind of the message that I wanted to share today with everybody. Is, a lot of people suffer with this imposter syndrome, feeling like they're not worthy, they don't deserve it. I certainly do. Figuring out like how to move past that and not make it part of my own identity is, wait a second, I'm not all those negative things. I'm not, I can't, I shouldn't. What if we just kind of change that around to say, I am fill in the blank. Or I'm becoming, right? So a lot of times that's kind of where my thought process is. I'm not there yet. It's a journey, but I'm trying to embrace the actual journey part of it, to say sometimes it's not so much the destination, it's being able to be in the moment and say, I'm not really where I wanted to get in lots of different areas of my life, but that's okay. Like, I'm still working towards those goals. So, that is really, I think, where the secret lies. In our training over the weekend, we were calling it oh my gosh, I'm going to mess up the word here, the magic moment, right? That's that magic moment of being able to make that connection and being able to be present. So thank you guys for being present with me today. Certainly appreciate your time, and hopefully there's something here in this message that you can take away from, and maybe there's somebody that you might be able to share it with and say, hey, look, it's okay that you're not where you want to be, wherever you are in your own journey. Like, that's okay. Like, we don't need to be so self-critical or have a little of that self-compassion. That's something that I could be a whole nother topic of conversation, self-compassion. But I think that kind of ties into it's okay to trying to be someone that's figuring out where you are or where you're trying to get to. It's okay. Like, I give myself that permission. Hopefully you can give yourself that a little bit of grace as well, and understanding that it is very much about the journey. So I want to thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for all the wonderful things that you're doing in your own life, and wish you an amazing week, day, hour, minute, wherever you are in your life as well. Thank you, everybody.